the recording. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, all of our attendees, to day 3 of camp. We've got some great sessions today. We're going to be delivering a lot of tools in terms of what next steps might be in the continuum of getting involved in the sports industry. So this afternoon, you'll see some sessions from different university partners, and then certainly this session right here fits that criteria as well. So want to welcome in our partners from the R.I.S.E program and National Amateur Sports. They are a partner of us for the last 2 years and made a generous gift that allowed 50 students to attend this year's camp at no cost, and have been excellent partners from the very beginning. So when we talk about that continuum, you know, maybe it's that you might be studying sports marketing classes in college in a few years. Maybe it's that, you know, you got part-time work with the box office or, you know, customer service. But really the R.I.S.E program is something that allows students to get involved at the very next step in terms of doing work for their athletic programs at school and getting that direct experience, getting your hands dirty, and being able to kind of make the connections between the theories that we've been talking about all week and what it actually looks like when you're working those, you know, 12 or 14-hour days and getting to see everything behind the scenes. So I'll introduce our panel real quickly. Mike Moore, who is the executive producer for the R.I.S.E program, will be serving as our moderator today. We've got Logan Carter, who is the content coordinator and has put together all of the awesome videos that you guys will see as part of this presentation. Chris Berry is the R.I.S.E program director. And then we've got Garrett Jordan, a rising senior at Marvin Ridge High School in South Charlotte. And he is the president of the Sports Marketing Club there. And then last but not least, we've got Griggs Blankenberg, who is on our staff, who will be helping out to go through questions. So the panelists cannot see you, but we will be monitoring the chat and the Q&A session throughout. So please be active in that. If you guys have any further questions or things that you'd like to see them explain more deeply, put those in the chat and or Q&A, and we'll go from there. Mike, you want to take us away?
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. We appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk to everybody today. I wanted to start by giving you a little more background about the panelists that you'll see today and kind of explain to you what NAS does as a business. NAS is an acronym for National Amateur Sports. We are a marketing and content company. So what we do is partner with public school districts and help them build their athletic websites. Now we're into doing live streaming with them and creating other content. And the other big piece of this is that we try to connect the school systems with corporations that want advertising, but also want a presence in the community. And through all this, our mission is to help fund public school sports. So a large portion of the revenue we create goes to fund public school sports, which, as many of you know, are very underfunded right now, and the budgets continue to get cut. So, you know, they're increasingly asked to be more and more self-sufficient, and we are here to help the coaches and ADs and student athletes do that. But also on the content side, provide entertaining content for the parents and the families and the fans to enjoy through our content effort. So we're a combination of things. We're a small company, but growing. Right now we have relationships with probably a dozen school districts, including Charlotte-Mecklenburg, Union, Iredell, Statesville, Wake County up in Raleigh. We're working on contracts with Winston-Salem and Greensboro, so we're expanding. The school systems like our model because it does help them, and we are very much a partner in what they do. And we kind of take the business of having to go out and sell sponsorships and creating content away from them, so that, not that it's bad, so that they don't have to worry about it. My background, I'm the executive producer at NAS. I have been in the sports content business for 35 years. I graduated from the University of Tennessee. I was fortunate enough in college, and we'll get more into this later, to meet some people in the athletic department, and ultimately got hired by the athletic department to be on their radio network and produce coaches shows and home videos. I worked there for 7 years, and then from there went to ESPN here in Charlotte and worked at ESPN for 25 years, ultimately as a senior coordinating producer, coordinating sports categories like college football and college basketball and motorsports. So I've been very fortunate to have a wonderful career, and, you know, to be able to do this full time is almost a dream. I'm very passionate about it, and, you know, it's been a great thing for me. So with that, Logan, Logan just graduated from High Point University, so he has a different experience level, but he can also tell you about some of the things that he's done and where he's headed. So Logan, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yep. So I'm Logan Carter. I was a sport communications, sports media, and event management major and minor at High Point University. So my story is very similar to Mr. Moore's. Just the connections. I started playing sports all my life. I know Garrett's heard this whole spiel from me, and I can talk to him as well. But I started with sports, and then once I got to high school, I said, you know, I got to put education first for me, which ended up, you know, really helping me out. But I started to, you know, kind of cooperate with sports off to the side. And just like Mike said, through the connections that I made, I've been blessed at a very early age, and all through high school, I started working for the school, working for the different athletics teams with their marketing, also the communication side of things with coaches and stuff. That led me to getting a job at Wake Forest Athletics, sophomore year of high school. Once I was at Wake Forest for the year and a half, working with Steve Shutt, the sports information director at Wake, I slowly started to grow in the company as well with them, to where I started working in the booth for ESPN my junior year of high school, getting to work with guys like Mac Brown, who's coaching at UNC now, and all these different guys for different big-time games. And then I ended up working in the truck just like Mike, doing different little small things that they needed. It's just the connections that you make and continuing to, you know, kind of improve every time and make these connections and show that you're worth it. And then fast forward to college, this is where I get into the high school realm. I've been doing all kinds of ACC tournaments, going all the way up to Brooklyn for one of them, doing official stats and stuff like that. But a light bulb went off in college. I started my own high school social media coverage company called Game of Inches, who were going to be tying into National Amateur Sports. But I wanted to give high school students in my area, which was the Triad at the time, Winston-Salem, Greensboro, the coverage just like ESPN. I'll show it maybe later in this little seminar session, but that's my story. So now I'm in the high school realm. I've totally ditched. I love college football and stuff, but I'm excited to be joining National Amateur Sports full-time here soon. So that's my story.
Yeah, thank you, Logan. And then take it even a further step back. Garrett Jordan is with us, who is a rising senior at Marvin Ridge, and he's already piling up experiences, the president of the Marvin Ridge Sports Marketing Club. So Garrett, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and also tell us what your ambition is. What do you want to do with all this experience?
Definitely. Well, as Mr. Moore said, I'm just kind of starting out my sports journey here, kind of on the lower end of the spectrum right now, but I'm working my way up. So I, like Logan, I've played sports my whole life: football, soccer, basketball, everything. And me and a buddy of mine, Ethan Michalski, we wanted to start the Sports Business Club because those are two passions of mine. Sports and business kind of fused together, and it's this, you know, amazing field that y'all are obviously interested in. And, you know, I've had great experiences with R.I.S.E and with Marvin Ridge, but my ambition is to kind of create connections like Logan and Mr. Moore have said, just to kind of get into the industry further, maybe work with marketing, maybe work in the truck, just kind of see where my journey goes from there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense. I mean, Garrett's in a great position right now as a high school student, already getting experience. The purpose of this call is to talk about the R.I.S.E program and hopefully how some of you can get involved. Before we get there, though, we wanted to explain a little bit more about what NAS does and show you the kind of content that we're doing. And these are things that high school students can help us out with. So I'm going to share my screen and show you guys a couple of things. One of the things that we do is live streaming with school districts, and this is a promotion to show that we've installed new technology, which is automated cameras, cameras that are run by the internet. They have software in them that follows the action, and it doesn't require any personnel. And so through that, we can stream hundreds of events a year on football fields and in gyms from a single high school. And we charge a modest subscription fee. And again, as I said at the beginning, that subscription fee helps the schools fund their programs. So it's been a very attractive option for a lot of school districts. It's pretty new technology, so the adoption rate has been pretty slow, but with COVID-19 around, and hopefully we'll be playing sports here in another couple of months, but I'm pretty sure they won't allow a lot of people into the stadium. So this streaming becomes a very valuable asset. So here's a promo that we did for Wake County, which is up in Raleigh, which will show you how the streaming camera works and all the different sports that we cover. All right, so there's just an example of, just to show you how the automated cameras work and what we're able to do with them. One of the things, obviously, this is huge for families that want to watch games live, or maybe they want to come home after the game and watch a replay of it. It's also, we use it as a coach's tool to help the coaches too. But further, this is where the marketing and sponsorship comes in. We're able to create content from these cameras that we can push out on social media, and we can also have sponsors look at. So here's another sample from Wake County of a top lacrosse plays piece that we put together earlier in the spring of how we're able to use the content from the cameras to push out to people to enjoy, frankly. A little dubstep for you there.
Mike, I think you gotta exit out of the other video that you shared and share the other one.
I'm sorry, what was that?
You gotta reshare it.
All right. Yep, I see. I'm still a newbie.
No, you're fine. There you go.
Sorry, I'm still a newbie with Zoom. So there's an example of some content that we did using the automated cameras to put together, and obviously we're shopping that to sponsors right now to help fund high school sports. The next thing let's get more into talking about the R.I.S.E program and why experience is important. So let me show you another slide. Hang on. And to help you understand a little bit more about what the R.I.S.E program is about. So the R.I.S.E program is designed to expose students to potential careers in sports marketing and media industry by providing experiential learning opportunities to help unite students build a resume they can use to apply for college or find a job after graduation. So that's kind of the purpose of the R.I.S.E program. We want to create opportunities and work with the faculties at your school to create opportunities to give you that experience. Even when I was in high school, and Logan will tell you the same thing, we heard over and over again that getting a college degree is important, especially if you want to get into management or the executive ranks, but having practical experience is equally important. And as somebody that hired a lot of people at ESPN, we would look directly, we cared more about their experience than we did about their GPA, because we wanted to see what they went out and did. So experience is very important in this business. It also helps you know early on whether you want to get into the business. You know, maybe you think you want to do it, and then you get out and get a little bit of experience, and you say, well, you know, it's not for me. I think I'd rather do something else. Or you'll be like me and Logan and just fall in love with it. So it's a great business to be in, but even in high school, you can start working now to gain that experience and get yourself an edge on the competition. So we've talked about why experience is so important. It helps you define your craft. It also helps you define what your gifts may be and what you really like to do. There's so many different facets to the content business, from being on air, but there's 3 times as many jobs behind the scenes. And so that may be something you want to get into. Maybe you have a passion for graphic design, or you love video editing, or you love camera work. You know, you can go out and do that. But there's also ways to get experience through these automated cameras doing play-by-play and color analysts. And you can never start too early there. So from there, Logan, why don't you give your take on why experience is important?
Yeah, experience is the biggest thing, especially even when you're looking at colleges. I was a part of the presidential scholarships committee at High Point University, and Mike said the same thing. You know, everybody can have the same. If you're working hard in school and you're really, you know, diving into the textbooks, everybody can have a really good GPA. But what the teachers and I myself, in your resume, what we're looking at is what have you done. So you tell us what you want to do, your ambitions. Just like Garrett's saying. So Garrett's applying. We want to see that he's made some graphics. He has some, you know, examples. He has a LinkedIn where he's putting these examples. I know LinkedIn is a big thing that Mr. Longo and they talk about. It's just having this resume that you've built up, but you have to have experience on it. And that's the biggest thing. So throughout everything that you do, make sure that whatever ambition that you have, what you want to do, make sure you're doing stuff along the side. It doesn't have to be huge things. It doesn't have to be big things. And if stuff doesn't come to you, I know right now a lot of people aren't hiring because, I mean, sports is a tough environment right now since we don't have sports. But just take my high school coverage company, for example. I mean, I picked that up myself. And that's kind of what we want in the R.I.S.E program, is for you guys to become like the social media team, like the Wake Forest Athletics of your high school. Because, I mean, we're giving you guys the material to use, and we want you guys to become that professional team that's running the social media campaign for your school. And so with that, I'll kind of pitch it over to Garrett. And I think, Garrett, you can explain what you and Ethan are trying to accomplish working with me and working with the R.I.S.E program at Marvin Ridge for this upcoming season.
Definitely. As Logan said, guys, it's really a powerful thing to point to something tangible that you can show colleges and say, hey, man, I did this. You know, I worked really hard and I'm going to do this. For example, my buddy Ethan and I, we had a good idea to, you know, start a rivalry game, a community event around a football game against one of our biggest rivals, RGK. You know, and before COVID happened, obviously, we were in the steps of making that possible. We're making graphics, we're making T-shirts, we're going to reach out to sponsors, we're doing all of this. You know, and all of that is just great experience that you can, you know, show to somebody that may want to hire you, right? You know, that sets you apart from the rest of the pack, as Logan said.
Exactly. So once again, a reminder, guys, if you have questions, put them in the chat. We'll get to those in a second. You know, experience is very vital. And the key to experience, the other thing that comes out of getting experience is that you meet people and you network. And networking is vital to getting a job. We would not have hired Logan unless he networked with us. Excuse me. So that experience is super vital that you do that. And the other thing is that nobody's going to come to you and say, you need to go do this, or you need to go to football practice and interview some people. You've got to be a self-starter and do it on your own. These days with social media, you could have your phone and you could download iMovie and immediately be producing content, which is fantastic. And if you're interested in that part of it, I would suggest that you start to do it and post it on your YouTube page. You know, don't look at the views. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you're getting experience and you're getting better and you're finding your voice every time you post something new. So that you'll hear that from us over and over again. And it's what all of us have heard all our career is that you want to get experience. So let's move on into the R.I.S.E program a little bit more. We've got a video. Logan edited this video with a piece with some elements that are part of the R.I.S.E program and that people have used to get an experience. So let me share this, and we'll get into a little bit more.
Hi, I'm Logan Carter, Content Coordinator and Manager for NAS and the R.I.S.E program. Today, I'm here to tell you about the R.I.S.E program and how it can help you and your school start a R.I.S.E club. The R.I.S.E program, managed by NAS, provides high school students interested in the sports business with experiential learning opportunities. These opportunities are broken down into 3 different sections for the R.I.S.E program. We have the R.I.S.E Sports Club, the R.I.S.E Speaker Series, and for CTE teachers. For today, we're going to focus on you and starting a R.I.S.E club at your school. The R.I.S.E High School Sports Club is organized by a student leader, athletic department, or SEM department with the support of the R.I.S.E team. We will provide support throughout the school year by sharing experiential learning opportunities that align with the individual school's objectives. What the program is going to offer is an introduction to media and content creation by providing instructional how-to videos for students, including creating social media graphics, conducting interviews, and developing a marketing strategy. Here's one of our how-to videos. Today we're going to be doing a game day graphic. So we've provided a PSD file, which is a Photoshop design file, all ready for you guys to kind of test out and play around with. So the first thing that we're going to look at, that's the picture. So you're going to bring that into the graphic. So that's going to be underneath. You see how it's right here underneath everything else. So you need to make sure that's the last thing, the bottom thing on the right-hand side of all of these different layers. Any projects completed by students in the R.I.S.E program will be displayed on their school's district athletics website and the R.I.S.E social media accounts as well. We want to get your stuff out there as much as possible. We will also give access to our R.I.S.E speaker series where students can tune into live webinars with industry professionals and have the opportunity to speak with them and really connect.
What did you do as far as letting your personality come out over those years? Was it a natural process, or were there things that you thought about doing to kind of distinguish yourself from the crowd?
Yeah, I love what you said there, letting your personality come out, because I think that's the important thing, is not manufacturing a personality, not creating this on-air persona, but becoming comfortable enough where yourself comes through. And I don't know that there are any tips for it other than embrace that it's important, that allowing yourself to come out is key.
The R.I.S.E High School Sports Club will also have monthly virtual check-ins with the R.I.S.E team to assist with the club's goals and objectives for the year. Quarterly visits from the R.I.S.E team will also happen to recap and evaluate your experience. Last but not least, you'll have exclusive access to attend and cover local sporting events with the R.I.S.E team, whether it be the Charlotte Kickoff event or maybe even a state championship. We have 2 students from Marvin Ridge who already contacted us, and we are partnered with Marvin Ridge in a R.I.S.E Sports Club with Ethan and Garrett. Here they are to talk about their experience so far.
Hi, I'm Ethan Mitchell, and I'm Garrett Jordan. We're the founders and presidents of the Sports Business Club at Marvin Ridge, partnered with R.I.S.E. R.I.S.E has helped us reach all of our goals for the spring by giving us opportunities to personally interview Ryan McGee from ESPN, as well as former Super Bowl winner E. Ross. R.I.S.E is also helping us with one of our biggest goals for next year, the creation of a huge community event with one of our biggest rivals. Along with helping us with our rivalry game, R.I.S.E will be helping us film a hype video, reach out to sponsors, create entertaining graphics, and guiding us through the 2020-21 sports seasons. Thank you, R.I.S.E, for providing us with an in-depth knowledge of the sports business industry.
The R.I.S.E Sports Club is going to provide support and curriculum with real-life experiences, just like we have already provided for Ethan and Garrett. We're excited for the upcoming season with them, but we are more excited about the upcoming season with you. For more information about the R.I.S.E program and how to get involved, please contact Chris Berry, chris@nasathletics.com, or me, Logan@nasathletics.com.
Okay, so there was a great video that Logan put together to talk about what the R.I.S.E program is. Our NAS's role in the R.I.S.E program is to provide an agenda and materials for teachers and students to use. So they want to start a R.I.S.E program, but then we try to give them advice and templates and ideas of content to produce so they don't feel like they're on an island. It is, however, very important that you have a faculty member or a coach involved in the program. And part of that, just to kind of oversee it, be a gatekeeper, and make sure everything's going okay. For instance, at Marvin Ridge, Tom Jamerson, the athletic director, is very involved. He's very good. So that's a little bit of that is you're going to have to go out and do some recruiting maybe, or maybe talk to your favorite SEM teacher. But from there, they can get in contact with Chris Berry, and we can set you up.
And I was going to say too, Mike, is that even if you all want to reach out and need support around trying to connect with your athletic director or an SEM teacher, that's what we're also here for too.
Yeah.
So, because we do have a lot of the connections within your schools.
Mm-hmm. And that's vitally important. So be sure to use us as a resource as well. Logan, do you want to talk a little bit more about some of the specific tasks that we've given to the students to complete and some of the ideas for content?
Yeah, so when we first started, we knew it was tough trying to get the kids, making it not seem like an assignment, but a lot of kids, you know, it was very intimidating. So I'll just go through, we're going to send that video. I know it was kind of jumpy. I've learned that Zoom is not always the best, but we're going to send that video in an email after the fact, so you can pause it and kind of read. But the three things that we're focusing on now, and this is from experience, and this is the reason Chris and I went down this path. So the main thing is the students, the R.I.S.E speaker series, and also the CTE teachers. So what we're going to try to do is incorporate this in the curriculum at many of the different CMS schools who we're working with as well. But the biggest things that we want to try to do is create a campaign now. Instead of giving you an assignment, we want the club as a whole to kind of, you know, split up into groups. Who's going to be doing on-camera interviews with players from around the school, or who's going to be behind the camera? Who's going to be making, you know, ticket stubs? Maybe you can sell ticket stubs, or who wants to, you know, design T-shirts like Garrett and Ethan are doing for the rivalry game. So basically, with the club, we thought instead of, you know, just singling out, you know, sending an email to 125 students with the same assignment, why not let you guys decide what you want to do as a club, and we'll be in full support of it. We want you to run as a team because that's what you have to learn to deal with. I know Griggs, he's asking me what I did at Wake. That's what I did. Everybody had a certain role at Wake. Whether mine was making a graphic for social media, when I was with the communication staff, or running stats. It's just everybody has to have a certain role. And it's not just the teachers holding you accountable. It's your you know, friends in the club with you that's holding you accountable. If you're creating a social media campaign for that game on Friday night, like somebody's got to be accountable for posting, you know, the preview graphic for Thursday. And that's kind of how we want it to go. We're going to be here to provide, you know, Photoshop design files to begin with. If you're new to Photoshop, I'm going to be giving you those files that you can go in there and play with. But then at the end of your experience with us in the R.I.S.E program, I want you to be able to design your own, whether through Canva or Photoshop, to really, you know, separate yourself from other individuals. I know everybody wants to be buddy in here, but it's going to be competitive. We want to see who can make the best graphic, maybe hold competitions. We want all of you to work as a team in order to make the best campaign possible for your school. And I mean, you might not win that prize, but you're really winning just because you're gaining that experience that is going to be heavily needed when you're going out there trying to get a job and competing against somebody else that, you know, maybe has done nothing, but they say they love sports and they really want to, you know, work in sports, but they haven't done anything to kind of do that. So that's the biggest thing that we're really pushing for with R.I.S.E this year. I know somebody asked how many schools do we have, so we're working with several. I have a call with Weddington, Huff, to kind of start these clubs. I know Garrett and Ethan, I've been working with them hand in hand. You know, I'm crossing my fingers we have a football season so we can go ahead and start this, but it may be, you know, January before I can start coming out and coming to the classrooms or coming to an after-school club meeting. But that's kind of the direction that we're wanting to head in, and I can let Chris, if I haven't hit anything that you want to say to that.
Yeah, well, it seems like there's a lot of questions too coming in that we could probably answer also on some things. I did see in the beginning, how many RISE clubs do we have so far? So right now we are in talks with 11 different high schools. Right now we are in North Carolina and South Carolina, and I know maybe a lot of you listening in are from other states. Please feel free to email me. I would love to discuss it and we can see how we can incorporate that into your schools. So that's absolutely possible. All of you are leaders here today and can make that happen. And with the support of us getting it started, it definitely could happen.
Yeah, I think we could definitely, I mean, now everybody, I mean, you guys are young, everybody's really learning this Zoom thing. I mean, that's easy for me to jump on. I see Northern Virginia, it's easy for us to all jump on a call and you know, do a how-to video. I just did an entire 3-hour session with CMS teachers showing them how to build a lower thirds graphic to put over top of video that they're going to start doing in the classroom. So we could easily, you know, go outside of North Carolina. So definitely just email Chris and we can get things started. I mean, now that everybody knows how to communicate online like this. So that's great to hear that everybody's, you know, kind of wanting to start this out of state, because we would love to help with that and provide the materials that you guys need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Chris, why don't you put your email in the chat?
Okay.
So that if students are interested in reaching out, they can come to you directly and we can start the conversation with the faculty at that particular school. I mean, it's very much a grassroots effort, but the schools that have done it have really enjoyed it. I see a question here about Northern Virginia. We do have a relationship with Fairfax County, if that's where you are. We haven't started the RISE program there yet. Fairfax County's one of the largest school districts in the country, and we've been pretty active with them, and we'd love to get a program started at one of the schools up there, if that's where you are. If you aren't in Fairfax County, we'll still work with you. I'm just telling you that we already have a relationship there. And one of the things that I want to add too to consider about college is if you're really interested in getting into content, sports content production and live sports, with the advent of the ACC network and the SEC network, there's thousands of events a year that are done. And on the digital side, they use students to help produce them. So you can walk onto campus your first week as a freshman, figure out who the ACC network or the SEC network coordinator is, and probably get on the team right away, because they're always looking for help. And that's also a great way. That's a great way to get involved as well. So why don't we take? Garrett, I do want to come to you to provide a little bit more detail around the marketing campaign for the football game that we were looking at doing this fall. Obviously, we may or may not do it, but it had taken pretty good form, and the students really came up with the idea. We just helped them make connections and gave them advice on the best way to execute it. And theirs is more marketing oriented, but I thought it was spectacular what they were doing. So Garrett, why don't you explain what you guys were doing there?
Definitely. So I touched on it a little bit earlier, but we had decided that we wanted to make a big community event to really, because that's one of the best ways that you can practice all the skills necessary in the sports business field, right? So, one of our big rivals at a conference is R.I.S.E, and they are a couple miles from our school. So it's really close. It's a tight-knit community. And, so we decided that we wanted to really make an event out of this. So what R.I.S.E really helped us with is we had this great idea. Hey, we want to make a game. We want to make it fun. We want everybody to show up, and where R.I.S.E comes in is they have experience and they can say, that's awesome. How are we going to do that? How are we going to work forward? So, they put us in contact with a ton of great sponsors, Scott Clark, just everybody that could kind of help to get involved with the game. And it was a student-led effort with great experience backing, which is something that R.I.S.E is excellent with. They will provide you with support. They will provide you with details. They'll give you in-depth knowledge. But at the end of the day, they're there to support you, not to kind of do the job for you.
That's a great explanation. Let's get to some questions now. And guys, feel free to ask other questions about the content business, about the way that we see things in the state of the business right now, as well as the R.I.S.E program. So,
and Mike, real
Yeah.
quick too, is I'm going to share so people can see exactly what R.I.S.E offers and maybe who to ask within their high school. And it also has my information. So I think that might be a good go-to right now.
Okay.
Can you all see that?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So while you're asking the questions.
Okay. So Griggs, what questions are you getting?
All right. We got one from Carter Bain Hamper here, who says, as a shy rising sophomore kid in high school, what steps should looking into the sports business be for me next? Learning to connect with people? Question mark.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, one of the realities of our business is that it does attract a lot of introverted people. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all, but because I was that way too. So, but it's you know, you need to learn to step out of your comfort zone a little bit and start to talk to teachers. And one thing for high school and college age students with networking is everybody wants to help. If you guys sent me an email and you wanted to have a phone conversation or whatever, I'd be glad to do it. So everybody wants to help you. So go in with that mindset that the person is going to help you or they want to help you. And I think you'll be really surprised at the response that you get from everybody. It takes a little bit of courage, obviously, to do that. But once you do it a few times, you know what? It's not so hard anymore. And I think that's really a big part of it, is learning to network with people and learning to ask for help and coming to them with ideas. And I think you'd be really surprised at how many people want to help.
And, you know, if maybe I'll say a quick thing to that too is, you know, I'm not an uber confident guy, but the more experiences that I have, you know, going to talk to teachers, for example, I went to go talk to my AD and said, you know, hey, me and my buddy, we really want to start this club, you know, how can you help? And you would be surprised how willing teachers are and coaches are to really step out there and help you. You know, it's one of those old things that everybody says, you don't get anything if you don't ask. So the more you ask, the more great opportunities you'll find.
Exactly. And the more you do it, the more you'll get confident in doing it. Believe me, 90% of the people feel very uncomfortable asking or trying to network with people. It just takes practice. Briggs, what else you got?
Yeah, just to build off what you just said, connections using LinkedIn, like we learned yesterday from the panel, is a great way to make connections. I know I connected with Mike last year at our Lunch and Learn. It's just a great way to meet new people and get events. I've been doing this for about 3 years, and I've already done around 10 events. So just building connections, especially with all the co-founders, Jeff, Pat, and Sam, is just a great way to do this. And then we have another question from a camper. What can students expect to do when they join the R.I.S.E program? What are the different aspects?
Logan, you want to take that one?
Yeah, so just basically, like I said before, the whole campaign, I know somebody from Louisiana said that they have production experience. Everybody has their own little niche that they can roll with, and that's kind of what we want to go with. So if you're the production side of the club, now you need the graphic side. I don't know if you're saying video production or just graphic production, but you're just going to have all kinds of different aspects. And we're not just saying that we want you to dabble in just that one section of the club. So if Garrett, you know, he's in the graphic section 1 week, well, maybe for the next week's campaign, he wants to go out and shoot video. So the club is just whatever you guys want to do. We don't want to kind of push the students into saying like, oh, you have to write this week, or, oh, you have to make a graphic this week, because sometimes kids don't want to do that at all in the sports realm. So that's why we've kind of left it up to the clubs. You tell us what you want to do, and then we'll take it to the next level, is kind of the best way that I can put it for the R.I.S.E Club. Garrett and Ethan, they came to me and said, hey, like, we want to make a hype video that week. So what do I say to them? Like, I'm going to come out with the cameras, the equipment. We're going to go out there and we're going to shoot it together. There's no grade on this. It's whatever you guys want to do. So there's no assignment. There's no deadline. So basically the R.I.S.E program is everything in the sports business realm that you guys want to do and more. I mean, sometimes we'll give you ideas to roll with, but that's basically the best examples of the club that I can give to you.
Yeah, and one of the things that we encourage is teamwork. The content, especially in sports content, is a team sport. And at one high school we visited, ran into a group of students. One of them wanted to be kind of on camera, forward facing. The other one kind of didn't want to do that, but wanted to be behind the camera and do some editing. And a third one was really interested in producing graphics. So we tried to encourage them to work together to come up with a project that they could all work on and contribute their individual interests and gifts. So that's another thing the club will do, is it'll connect you with people that are interested in the same thing, and you'll be able to work together.
Yep. I think that's a really good point. And it's kind of like Mr. Moore said, it's kind of it's an organism, is the sports business. You got all the different parts of the body kind of working together to produce a great product. You got marketing, you got graphics, you got video. You know, for example, I was out at my school shooting drone video, and then I sent it over to my buddy whose passion is graphics, and he does his thing. And then next thing you know, we have a great graphic. And I would encourage everyone to get experience in as many different areas of sports business as you possibly can, because you never know what your passion will be, and you'll never really know what you're going to excel at. So just push yourself to really find, different niches that you might be interested in.
Yeah. Griggs, any other questions? You're muted.
Does R.I.S.E program cover private schools, or does it work with private schools?
Not at the current time. Chris may want to answer that question. We're mainly working with public schools where we have a relationship.
But again, also feel free to and we can maybe create a plan around that for sure.
Yeah, that's why I put in the chat. Yeah.
Here's one. It says video and graphics. I am the parent, but we own an independent production company where our girls work with camera and then edit with their dad. That's awesome.
That's great.
That's awesome experience.
I was looking at some of these. Oh, so we have.
If you guys have any questions outside of the R.I.S.E program, oh, sorry, Chris. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about either Mike and I's experience, just anything. Like I love the question about if you're shy. I should answer that back then, but I was just like that in middle school and elementary school. Like I used to be the kid on the beach where my parents would have to go make friends for me. And then after high school, after all the connections and the networking that I did with the sports, now Chris can't shut me up. So
sure.
But I used to be like that. People don't know that about me until I tell them. So I used to be really shy, and I was only very talkative with my certain friend group, whether it was the baseball team, the soccer team, and I'd go home and only chat with them or only chat with them at school. But that's the beauty of sports. I think it really draws out the best in people once you get involved, because you're working with the team, and it really is exciting to talk to different people every single day. That's one of the reasons why I love high school sports, because I've met so many high school athletes that are great kids, great coaches, great assistant coaches, great athletic directors. And that's just the beauty of sports is how much you get to communicate and really boost your communication level with just people in general.
It's a very, very fun business. And the more you practice everything, the better you'll get at it. It's just like anything else. And so that's really why we emphasize experience. You're working on a team with other people that'll help you and have your back. And, you'll be able to, it's an amazing world we live in. You're able to post things now and shoot things with your phone is pretty easy to do. And, talking about some of the things that the R.I.S.E program, we would like to see it evolve into is, for instance, if we're doing football previews this August at high schools, Logan and I can't get around to every high school to do a preview. So if you're in the R.I.S.E program, we would call you and say, hey, could you go ask your football coach a couple of questions, and we'll help you with the questions, and send us back the video, and then we would be able to edit it and post it. And you've made a contribution at that point. And then from there, maybe you go and do it for basketball or lacrosse season too, or file regular reports. We will take any content that you guys want to provide and post it, because we feel it's so important that you get that experience interviewing. Interviewing can be intimidating too, but we're able to coach you on that and teach you to ask good questions and what kinds of questions to ask, so that the person you're talking to is comfortable and you're comfortable asking them.
I just wanted to say one thing. Ayana Anderson's on here from, she was in Sports Biz Camp last year and Clearly Now, and we met Ayana through the program, and she was one of our leading rock stars in all of this, and really and did a lot of wonderful things, independence in her high school, and created great content for her high school. But she was just asking, what's one thing you like about your job? And for me, it's just, I'm very passionate about seeing the potential in you, and reaching your goals and asking questions and being curious and getting where you want to be. And I think with the R.I.S.E program also, maybe there's a career that you never even knew existed. You know, we always joke that everyone wants to be an NFL player or a sports agent. There's so many different things behind the camera, in front of the camera, that there's just so many opportunities. And that's really why we R.I.S.E program, is to share and expose these opportunities for you all to learn. And Jeff, I'm not sure if we're running out of time here, or what with other questions sort of thing, or I wanted to have you jump in to let us know.
Yeah, I will give you the 10-minute mark, which is 3 minutes from now, but we want to just make sure that we can get everybody out and onto the next session by 1.
Okay.
I want to pile on to Ayana's question about what's the one thing you like about your job. And I'm a creative person, so I love to create, and I love the satisfaction that I get after I've created something and posted it and other people have enjoyed it. But above that is really the relationships that I've been able to build over the years and the people that I've met some really amazing people. We're friends. I've had the opportunity to meet, professional athletes and become friends with them. And it's all about people to me. And yeah, I really enjoy the people and the storytelling. You know, we talk a lot about technology, and we talk of, that everything's changing so fast. The one thing that has never changed in the content business is the ability to tell stories. And that's a key component that you have to learn how to do. And if you have a passion for telling stories, you'll be very good at this business. And the cameras and the editing systems and all that, they're just tools. All they are is tools for us. But what you really need to do is be able to tell a good story, be able to entertain people and inform people. And that's one of the things that's really satisfying about my job. And it's also always a quest. It's always a work in progress to see how you can do the best there.
I think there's one more. I think we'll end on this. I've seen people talking about my experience at college and how that kind of prepped me, and what are the degrees that were able to get you to that point. So like I said, sport communication at High Point, there's great everywhere, Syracuse, Indiana. So just make sure to look that they have a sport communication program. I think the best way that I could probably do this, I'll pull up my game adventures real fast, just so you can see. So I learned the graphic design capability. So this is like my high school coverage company that I started. Just want to show you. So we're doing stuff, like Bleacher Report and ESPN. We're doing interviews like this with coaches. He's putting on his old jersey because he just got named the head coach at his alma mater. But this is all stuff that I learned through High Point, video editing, camera skills, the jersey swaps. So this kid's never wore that. So just small things like that. That's the best thing that I could say about High Point, is they really prepped me for, video editing skills, how to take video, and definitely what Mike said, storytelling. With every graphic, with every video that you do, you got to tell a story with it about some athlete or some coach.
Exactly. So you guys are sensing some common themes here about getting experience, about networking, and about learning to tell stories. And storytelling is a lifelong craft, and it's really fun to get in there and learn how to effectively tell stories. Because, you know, styles change, they're just like shoes. So editing styles change, and shooting styles change, but the storytelling never does. Any more questions, folks? Let's see.
Well, I was also going to let you guys know too that Jeff and Pat and Lana will be sending out an email with all of this information to you all, with the video that Logan was in, and also this one sheet that I've put information. So if we didn't get to your questions or anything, please reach out to me, and I'm happy to answer anything that you may want to know.
Yeah, and you've got Chris's email, and if you just want to connect with somebody on the panel today and talk to them, we're glad to do that too. So just let Chris know, we'll be glad to pick up the phone and have a conversation with you about what your interests are.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Yeah, like Chris referenced earlier, this will all be as part of the college playbook that you all attendees will be receiving. So that'll have a couple of different sessions from particular universities talking about their programs, and then some of the more overarching subjects like this and FAFSA and some of the other things that we're doing. So want to thank you guys again for providing this insight. Again, from the R.I.S.E students last year who came through our program, Ayana and Kennedy, and some of the people who just absolutely crushed it. The feedback that we got from them in terms of what they experienced with the R.I.S.E program, just taking that next step from, we talk about the ideas and the theories here, but the R.I.S.E program really gives you an opportunity to get that real life experience, do it in a fun way, and be able to contribute to your school and learn along the way. So thank you guys for sharing it, and we look to see this program keep growing right alongside of us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
And we love Sports Biz Camp. You guys are wonderful. So thanks for all you do.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been fun. Thanks.
All right. Okay, bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.